Wheat is not what it used to be. It's low nutrition, it's allergenic, it increases inflammation, but it can also be amazing. I know it seems like gluten-free is a big fad. I hear a lot of people say, hey, I grew up eating wheat, cereal, and bread, and this and that, and hey, I'm fine. Look at me. The average American, though, as we know, is really not that healthy, and I think wheat is really contributing to this. In the 1950s, we went through a rapid shift in the way that wheat is farmed, and through much experimentation, a new form of wheat was developed. This new mutant form today has far less nutrition. Additionally, the way that we process flour has substantially changed as well, which is removing much of the whole grain aspects of wheat. One concern with wheat is that there's a rapid digestion and a rapid absorption of the carbohydrates within wheat. This causes an elevation in blood sugar. Just like when you eat sugar, it spikes your blood sugar. This occurs very rapidly because it's rapidly absorbed. And then the way that it spikes your blood glucose, we have a subsequent response in insulin to help lower that blood glucose. Over time, this repetitive increase and then subsequent drop will help contribute to insulin resistance, which is a major problem here in the United States. The next concern with wheat is that it is actually very, very low in nutrients and phytonutrients like antioxidants. It has a very low nutritional value overall when you consider just the true grain of wheat. The next concern is wheat allergy. Wheat allergy and sensitivity is really common, and many people will react to wheat in some way, shape, or form. It can be linked with acne, migraines, rashes, overly excited nervous system, people who are like constantly in that fight or flight state. A lot of times when people get off gluten for 3 to 10 days, it's enough to notice a major resolution of symptoms that people didn't even realize were connected with wheat and gluten. The next important point is that gliadin is that is found within wheat, and our immune systems do react to this protein called gliadin. Every single person reacts to it, and it contributes through this pathway called zonulin. It contributes to something called leaky gut. We have these cells within our intestine that are tightly packed together, and they should only allow good nutrients through. But unfortunately, because of this pathway, it actually causes a loosening. And you start to get like gaps in your fence. Imagine you have a nice tightly packed fence, but then you're allowing animals through. The squirrels can get through, the raccoons, and things are passing through. This actually makes a way for proteins, bacteria, and toxins to make their way into your body, into your bloodstream. And your body has no choice but to turn up the immune defenses. And your immune system actually reacts to this out of a defense mechanism. In fact, this is the beginning of a pathway for autoimmune disease that many people don't even realize that has set the stage for an autoimmune process to occur. The next big point is that gluten is inflammatory, simply given its biochemistry. Every food that we eat is going to have an effect on our inflammation levels and the inflammation pathways. Some foods suppress that inflammation and are anti-inflammatory. For example, fish oil, that's an extremely well-known example of an anti-inflammatory food, whereas other foods drive up inflammation. Wheat is one of those that by nature, it actually stimulates inflammation pathways. A big part of that is because of the way that it's rapidly digested, as I mentioned earlier, and it spikes that blood glucose levels. Another thing is that wheat is actually very easily fermented. That's why wheat is used in beer and alcohol creation, because of its ease of fermentation. But because of this fermentable nature, it actually promotes bacterial overgrowth within the intestines. So wheat can be amazing because it's so versatile. It's involved in many dishes, it tastes delicious, it's extremely affordable and mass produced, which makes it a great option for populations and societies that are unable to access healthier foods, especially when you're starving. A calorie is a calorie. But unfortunately, modern wheat varieties, the processing as well as the harvesting processing, depletes the wheat of its nutritional value, and unfortunately, it's promoting disease. My family and I, we stay away from wheat and gluten, but the biggest problem with the gluten-free diet is that people say, I'm getting off of gluten, and that's extremely popular nowadays. I think almost 40% of people are conscious or aware of being gluten-free, but then they end up resorting to highly processed, healthy junk food. For example, gluten-free Oreos, gluten-free cakes. And these have tremendous ingredient lists that have problems of their own. It may be free from gluten, but it's not free from other things that are breaking down the intestinal walls and causing inflammation on its own accord. The best alternative to eating wheat would be to migrate to a paleo, anti-inflammatory type diet, which removes wheat and grains and it focuses on whole foods. I'm not talking about the grocery store whole foods. I mean like real whole foods like fruits and vegetables and meats and nuts and seeds for sustenance. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this sheds some light on the gluten-free diet and the gluten-free lifestyle, and I hope it motivates you to push into a paleo Mediterranean type diet, which is rich in these whole foods and its nutrition for the long haul. This is going to benefit every system of your body, and I hope you watch other videos on my channel which really dig into the nitty-gritty on how to integrate some of these diets. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. It's a sweet life.